Doctor Who's most underrated episode, in my opinion, I must stress that, in my opinion, comes from a series that is widely disliked by a lot of fans, and that is Series 7's The Name of the Doctor. This episode comes before the Day of the Doctor, the 50th anniversary, and Matt Smith's regeneration as the 11th Doctor in The Time of the Doctor. So The Name of the Doctor understandably gets left out of the conversation, because those two episodes are shining Doctor Who episodes. A lot of people believe that the 50th anniversary might be the best Doctor Who episode of modern Who. However, Name of the Doctor is certainly not a bad episode by any stretch of the imagination. It has some of the most emotional scenes in the show, and it's just really well acted overall. I really love how this episode tackles morality. Of course, throughout Eleven's run, it's built up that this is his last regeneration. There is no more regenerations after this. This is his last life, and he's going to die. He's going to die at Trenzalore. And this episode is heavily focused around Trenzalore. And the 11th Doctor throughout his era is constantly running from the idea of Trenzalore and dying at Trenzalore. And of course, as well, this episode comes right before the 50th anniversary, where the Time War is tackled, where the Doctor kills billions of people, and then his regeneration episode. These episodes are heavily focused around the Doctor's own morality and the end of his life. And this is the end of Eleven's story and this cycle of regenerations. And of course, as watching the show, you're witnessing how the Doctor feels about dying, about the idea that he won't come back. And I feel like this is encapsulated beautifully in this specific scene that I'm going to play now.
The Doctor has a secret he will take to the grave. It is discovered. Doctor.
And it was Trenzalore. It was definitely Trenzalore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And this is a beautiful scene. We don't really see the Doctor cry or get emotional like that. He's facing his own morality and the end of his life, and it gives me goosebumps. It's unnatural to see the Doctor react like that. And this is of course heightened when they go and visit the Doctor's tomb. They're literally staring at his own grave and his own death, which is just a really shocking part. Tagged alongside that we also see River after she's died. And again, it's just another reminder that everyone dies and the morality of that.
You are always here to me, and I always listen, and I can always see you.
Then why didn't you speak to me?
Because I thought it would hurt too much.
I'm not saying that this episode is a flawless masterpiece with no issues. It definitely has its fair share of problems. One of those issues that I find is how they sum it all up with Clara. I don't like that at all. But I love how Stephen Moffat and other writers here deal with the Doctor's and everyone else's morality. It's just great. They also enhance this really, really well when they bring the Great Intelligence, a classic villain turned New Who villain, into the story. He goes into the Doctor's time stream and kills him over and over again from all his incarnations, meaning that all the people the Doctor has saved and the planets he has saved are no more. They don't exist. He never did it. Meaning that people like Strax, he dies. And it's really shocking. Again, it plays with the idea of death and morality, which the next two episodes coming up, The Day of the Doctor and The Time of the Doctor, focus on heavily.
I can turn every one of your victories into defeats, poison every friendship, deliver pain to your every breath.
He's being rewritten.
Simeon is attacking his entire timeline. He's dying all at once. The Dalek are silent. Androzani.
And the idea of morality, and I know I'm saying that a lot, is why I love this episode. I love how it deals with it. I love how it approaches it, and I love how it executes it. And of course, I feel like the issues, of course, outweigh the positives here, but it's still an underrated episode. People don't really give it the time of day because the issues with Clara and how that's presented really outshine it. And of course, I wouldn't be doing this video justice if I didn't mention this is the episode that introduces the War Doctor to us.
He is my secret.
What I did without choice.
I know.
In the name of peace and sanity.
But not in the name of the Doctor.
The War Doctor embodies the Doctor's morality and other people's morality. It's the reason he is why he is in New Who, because of his actions he took within the Time War, and he disavows it. And again, this is a really interesting concept, which is developed more in The Day of the Doctor. And that's why I love this episode. It not only deals with the idea of the Doctor's death so very well and emotionally, but is also a great precursor to The Day of the Doctor. An episode that already hits so hard without this episode, but hits even harder when you understand the context of this episode. And some people will disagree with me, but that's why I believe this episode is underrated.